Kenneth Clark, who's a great art historian of the 20th century,
Yeah.
and 50, 60 years ago, wrote a lot about it, said of The Last Supper, it feels a little cold because it feels like a moment frozen in time.
Yep.
Now, I don't like to push back on the great Kenneth Clark. I'm old enough
But
to
having said that...
Having said that, if you look at his notebooks and his theatrical design, you see what he's doing. And this isn't a moment frozen in time. Go in and see it, or just look at the reproduction.
Yeah.
Your eye first goes to the hand of Jesus, which is reaching out as you walk in the door.
Right.
Then you look at his face, and he has said, "One of you shall betray me." And you can look at each of the group of apostles going out, all 12 of them, to the edge, as the first group is hearing that and react, "Is it me, Lord?" And then you get to the next verse, it's "He that dippeth his hand." Then you get to Judas, and you see he's reaching to dippeth his hand with it. And then it bounces back from the walls, and it gets to the point where Jesus is instituting the Eucharist, reaching for the bread and wine. So you see a whole narrative of drama. Plus, because he was doing stage design for the Duke of Milan as well, and pageants, it looks like a stage set. You look at the walls, and they come in a little too fast. I mean, he knows perspective, but he exaggerates it a bit. Just like if you were on this stage and there was a play, the scenery on each side would be coming in at a bit of an angle,
Right.
and the table would be tilted a bit so you could see what's on it. So all of this, and the dramatic gestures, all of this is a theater producer and a scientist and somebody who knows the math of perspective.
Conscious and deliberate.
Conscious and deliberate, and taking a long, and the problem with the painting is he takes a very long time to do it because it's so difficult to get the drama right and the perspective. Even the light on the painting, if you walk into the refectory, it comes from a window, you know, a real window on the refectory, and you look at the shadows on the painting, and it's actually coming from that window. So it's a hard thing to do. If you're doing a fresco, you're supposed to paint on wet plaster, and you have to do it fast before the plaster dries, each part of it. Leonardo took forever, tiny brushstrokes, and that's why it flaked off after a while.